Mr. Steak for when you make a mistake and have to barbecue.
Your family.
That's a really good rhyme, that, man. You should make a full song out of that.
Yeah, I think I was rhyming barbecue and family. If you
Or
twist
jingle,
the syllables.
rather.
Yeah, they go together.
That classic near rhyme, barbecue and family.
There you
Yeah.
go. We all know.
Speaking of
and love.
jingles, I heard quite a jingle on the radio today. It was hit by a truck, call Chuck.
Is he a lawyer?
Yeah, but
No,
he
he'll just scrape your dead body off the fucking pavement.
No, Chuck specializes in like transport truck related things.
I mean,
Injuries?
75%
Accidents?
of the population of Texas is a transport trucks. So,
Yeah.
it's pretty fair.
So if you're hit by a truck, call Chuck.
What if I'm hit by a bus?
Then don't call Chuck.
Call Gus.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good.
I was waiting for someone to say call Gus. I was also waiting for someone to say, hey, we're back.
Hey.
We're back.
It's only been a month.
It has been a month. It's actually been, it actually has been 4 or 5 weeks or something. So people.
I mean, it's been a month for you, dear listeners. It's not been a month for us.
I mean, it's been a month. Well, actually, it's been a month since we've had this set up, since we've
Yes.
spoken like this. But sorry that we deprived you of our lovely little voices in your lovely little ears. But we're back now. It's all good. Normal service has resumed. We haven't taken an extended break ever in the history of the show, so we've taken a month off, and it's how it transpired. Sorry, but we're back. We can move on from it. We had our summer vacay, which we'll get into, as I'm sure we'll speak about. But my name is Simon Bellner is Vacant. This is the Manga Raiders Community Happy Hour podcast, where we talk about manga, anime, and, well, I don't know, whatever we want to talk about, really. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not just me, because you've heard voices already. Don't know why I'm saying that, because we already started the show 3 minutes ago. Unless I'm really good at voices. But to my virtual left is the one, the only...
This is the nose flute.
Magical.
Do you know what I enjoyed more than that? I don't know if it'll pick up in the recording, but just there's a underlying like bed of you going like really, you can just hear you like really pushing that air out your nose.
I sure got that.
That's
I got this
Manimal.
Yeah, it's me, and the nose flute is tough.
I'm not so, yeah, you tell that like a champ though. You'd be excellent at cocaine. But I suppose
God.
actually you're blowing rather than suck. Anyway, to his virtual left is Coryn.
It is me. I was waiting for someone else to say something. Hello. I'm alive.
He's still alive. God bless him. He didn't get hit by a truck. Didn't need to call Chuck. And
Not
rounding
call
out
Chuck.
the cast of 4, he is Nairbons.
Yeah, I'm the last one. In terms of quality. Hi.
Aw, he's not. He's first in terms of seniority. We don't have ranks here. We'll have ranks, we have a little code words and names, but I don't know.
You've been on the longest. That's still you.
It's me. I'm Mama, podcast mother. Or am I the father? I don't know
No,
anymore.
you're the dad, and Noisy's the mom.
That's it. I am the father. All of that you've heard over the last 3.5 years has been my prodigal seed I shot out into the internet. But before we get too weird, let's go on to what we normally do. An extended How was your month? Manimal.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Okay.
we'll lay ground rules. We'll lay some ground rules. We all went to Kansas. You all know it. We've been banging on about it since the start of the year. We all went to Kansas. We did a Kansas cast, which you will find on SoundCloud, Podbean, iTunes, wherever you listen to us. It's not on YouTube at the moment. I might bang it on there when I get time. But if you want to hear about our exploits there, we have done that. So, there is that there. So we probably, because it saves us rehashing everything. then
Yeah,
I reckon
pretty
it's probably
well.
a good idea. However, we
Yeah.
didn't talk about the weekend. It got cut off on the show, so we will talk a little bit about the weekend that we got up to in Kansas. But I just wanted to put that out there for everyone. You can go find what we got up to. But if there's anything that wasn't mentioned on Kansas Cast, you can,
Well,
by all means.
I mean, we can just say things broadly.
Yeah.
Where, now we've had time to process it all and all stuff like that, and it happened. All that talk about, I don't want to jinx it. Who knows? I don't think it's possible. Well, it freaking happened. And, it was pretty hardcore.
Yeah, but it turns out you didn't catch on fire the moment you crossed over the American border.
I didn't catch on fire. Nothing happened, and it was like the most substantial week of my life in freaking forever. But I've talked about it on the cast there too. I'll talk about when I got home. Got lovely delays on the way home. That's always fun. I can't tell you because this freaking Psy guy over here had to leave like 2 hours before me, so I was waiting in the airport for 5 hours.
Ooh.
Okay, especially with the delays. And I was just not doing well on the flight there because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Am I going to have to stay overnight? What's going on? I mean, they fly to my city in Toronto all the time, so it was okay anyway. And I was so freaking relieved to see people from my city, like, not specifically, but I looked at people and I'm like, okay, I know where you're from. I can just tell by looking at you. And I feel so happy I could hug you right now. We're finally going home.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you, even with delays, you were still home way before I was.
I got home at 1, so it was fine.
Yeah, you had a pretty reasonable, pretty typical delay.
Yeah, no, it was all good. It was all fine. And I got the night flight, and I did listen to Perfume's Triangle album, so I can listen to the song Night Flight while on a night flight. I had to do that. Actually, so the first song I listened to in a plane will now forever be Rush's Subdivisions, and I had to get Night Flight in there. Yeah.
You didn't listen to YYZ.
I didn't
YYZ,
listen to YYZ in the YYZ, and I was pissed off at myself. I was mad. I'm mad. But we're not going to talk about that. So I got home, and I was really angsty for 3 days. I was just like, oh God, this is the bummer of life, right? You do something like this, and you got to go back to life. But then I was okay because I realized I had a freaking character arc. We'll say that from the minute I ate that Toblerone bar to it's real. I ate the Toblerone bar and this weird character arc occurred and it ended 3 days back to work and I was just okay, now I understand. I can process this better. Because it's just one of those realities and it's just something you gotta experience to learn for yourself. And then once you do, you're like, I had an adult experience.
Yeah, you had fun, and then there is that post-vacation, depression, but
that lasts for a bit, and then you're just like, well, this is just how it is, and I'm back to it, and okay,
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so fulfilling, to have actually, built up to that. To just it just paid off like nothing else, man. But yeah, I don't freaking know what else. Psycho Omori's new album Kusokawa Party came out. I got that in the mail today, actually. It's not as good as Psycho's last 3 albums, which were freaking masterpieces, incredible. Some of the best J-pop albums, if not the best J-pop album, Tokyo Black Hole, in my opinion. But Kusokawa Party is a different kind of album, so I haven't really processed what she's trying to do with it. Although Shinigami and Girls Girl are freaking 10 out of 10 songs, because it's freaking great. And other than that, I don't actually have anything else to say.
That's fair.
I've been working on my next album, Post America, featuring contributions from all these guys. All the songs written with Nair's guitar at his kitchen table.
He used the guitar to pen the songs. It was an awkward way of using it.
It was weird. This is what you need in any creative venture, just to go somewhere. And again, I went with a specific goal. I said, I'm going to write 12 songs. I'm going to write a freaking album.
Yeah, when we put on the Google Doc, like the joking Google Doc itinerary that we had, it was guitar all day, every day. Didn't think that was going to actually happen. It was not hyperbole, it was not a lie. That was what happened.
I had a goal and I had to fulfill it, and I did. So, I've been making those songs. Well, for the first bit, like, Mr. Steak and America Runs the Lies are like two of the best songs I've ever made. And then, it kind of goes all over, because it's a bit hard to keep the thing turning, even when I've written all the songs. But
yeah.
Still, this is a great way to do it, is to write all the songs at once. The only problem is I didn't write all the lyrics or vocal melodies at once, so that's where things dropped off a bit. But whatever. And yeah, that's all I have to say, I guess.
Cool. Coryn, what have you been up to then?
Oh, what have I not been up to? I don't know. It's not been too back into work and all that. I've been drinking all that beer you left at my apartment. I'm actually drinking the final one right now. It's finally going away. I've been using it for cooking and all sorts of shit. So I don't know, the most substantial thing that happened to me, because I got like a sick immediately after everyone left. Because I got the colds you had, which you probably got from some international airport from some dude from some country that has a winter going on right now.
That's the Gambian flu that you picked up right now.
Big shout-outs to Typhoid Simon for bringing death to the whole of Kansas.
So I had that for a while, but then I just spent a weekend kind of recovering. On Sunday, though, I made barbecue ribs, because I got half-priced ribs at the grocery store, which was real nice. And I don't know, they turned out a little more dry than I'd like to. They're not very good on reheat, to be honest. But I definitely learned you got to give a good shellacking in there, or else it's just not going to taste great. I mean, they taste fine. A shellacking. You got to shellac the ribs.
A chilliwacking?
A shellac.
What's a shellac?
It's when you take you build many, many, many layers of barbecue sauce as it cooks down and off. So you get like this nice crust of barbecue sauce.
Give it a shellacking.
Gotta give it a shellacking.
Shout out to Chilliwack from BC.
But I need to find a way to keep it from getting so dry. Because it's not nearly as moist as like it needs more tender. I don't know. I need meat tenderizer on pork. Maybe. Probably. Yeah. But no, that's kind of been it. I mean, there's other things, obviously, but I won't go into it.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. Nairbons, then. How has your weeks been?
Full of work. I really, honestly, in terms of like what fun activities have I done? I went to brunch with my wife for her birthday, and man, I love a good brunch. But I'm raking my memory for things that I did that aren't work, and I mean, I watched a couple more shows. I've done a lot of sleeping.
You've just been recovering.
I'm looking at my dog, and one of her ears is kind of turned back, and I really want to get out of my seat and go fix it for her.
Cammy. Oh,
it's unsettling.
She is helpless.
Poor little Cammy. How was she once everyone left? Because Cammy was the most excitable dog in the world. Like, I loved meeting Cammy. Don't know if we discussed it on Kansas Cast, but she's the kind of dog who, every time you come through the door, literally bullets towards you, and then does the little double paw attack.
It's entirely possible she has a memory of about 6 hours.
Very possible. And most of those hours are filled with food and not the commands which she needs to follow through for that food.
Poor little
God, I love that puppy.
She's a good dog. Cammy's a good dog. She's a nice dog. Fat doggy.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been reading and catching up, like, secondhand all the news and announcements for things that have been going down, and it's... I know things but I have not seen things. Like,
I'm with
aside from episode 2 of all the things we saw, that's not music. I haven't really watched much anime.
Did you watch more Music Girls?
Oh, come on.
I think that failed my 1 episode test.
Oh, unbelievable. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
If the 3 of you were here in my house again, and we could do a weekly viewing of Music Girls, I would watch that.
Oh, it would be good, but alas, we didn't. We will touch on the anime we watched.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
We've got the summer season, we've got spring season recap and summer season, first impressions to do today. So we're going to be busy boys. But luckily, we watched a fair few shows together, so that was a bit unique. Normally, we don't consume it together. That was a fun experience. But we'll do that in a normal place. We normally do that near the end of the show. Well, at least the second half. It'll be. No, that's fair enough, dude. For some reason I was gonna go Lego. Lego's not here. Lego, how was your week? That's just how his voice sounds when it travels thousands of miles.
Yeah.
So it's the special power of his.
That's his Neko Mimi cry.
I guess I'll go then. The theme of the month has been us readjusting and getting back into the swing of things with work. I too took the night flight. Wasn't too terrible. I couldn't sleep at all because I just don't on planes. So I ended up watching the last bit of Downsizing or Downsized, whatever it was, the Matt Damon film, because I watched like the first 4/5 of the film on the way there. So and then there's a week gap between when I watched the last fifth. Confusing film. Don't know what it's the message is behind it all, but whatever. Then I also watched Justice League.
I mean, I think the message is you can afford a shit ton of vodka when you're only an inch tall.
Because it had like these environment things. It's like, oh yeah, we did this because of the environment. We won't make as much waste when we're this tiny. And then they were like, oh no, the Earth's gonna... They were saying, oh, it's too late. It's gotten too far. The Earth, humans will be extinct in 20,000 years or 200 years or something. I know there's a huge gap between them. I was tired. I forgot what it was. But then they seal themselves up. No, I'm not going to spoil the whole film. But anyway, I watched that. Then I watched Justice League. Wasn't the worst DC film. It was just kind of... It happened.
I mean, it's got to be better than Superman v Batman.
Oh,
or Suicide Squad.
Oh, it was better than Suicide Squad. It was better than all of them. It was just it was okay. It just it just happened. Like, do you know what I mean? It just rolled along, going, okay, this guy's here he wants to terraform the planet with these 3 cubes, which I'm sure was the plot of Man of Steel, but I don't know.
Oh shit, it was.
It was okay. It was whatever. I did like that Superman came and just absolutely destroyed the villain, though. Like, the whole thing was everyone was having trouble against him, but then it's okay because Superman is way better than everyone. But I watched that on night anyway, and got back. Fucked my sleep pattern up royally because I didn't set an alarm like an idiot, so I woke up at 4 p.m. the next day, went to work. I was at work at 8 a.m. the following day, so I tried to go bed at 12 o'clock. Did not work. It was so hot. It's been a huge heat wave here. Still been hot as shit. I just can't escape heat. I hate the summer. I want the sun to move a few miles away so it's colder. If that's possible.
That's not how it works.
Sure, that's how it works. The sun.
We're actually the farthest away from the sun we'll be up here in the northern hemisphere during summer.
I don't want it here. I want it to move closer then. Whatever's gonna get us cold, make us cold. That's all I'm asking.
I mean, the planet needs to rotate. It just takes time.
You need to rotate.
Roughly 6 months.
Let's rotate. Let's all if we all chip in, we can get this done. Okay? Okay.
I think the solution is just to buy a house in South Africa.
I guess.
No, the real solution is everyone on one side of the planet. If it's daytime, you need to hop up and down to push the planet in the opposite direction. If it's night, don't hop because you're only working against the up half.
Exactly. Who wants to be the arsehole who causes the other half of the world to have to exert more energy. Don't do that. But yeah, anyway, went to work my first day back after, 16 days off, with no sleep. I was delirious. I was supposed to have, my meeting with my manager, and she was like, shall we book it for next week? You don't look too good. Yes, please. That was a weird week. But then also, I managed, because I've only just sort of got back into the swing of things, because I came back, went in that day delirious and dead. And then we went to the work summer party, which was down in London, so that's free beer all day, free food all day. They had a Mardi Gras theme. They had brisket there, so I jizzed in my pants a little bit just to have some more brisket. It ain't no barbecue like Joe's barbecue, I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't as
I'll
good.
say, was it super disappointing after eating Joe's?
It was really nice. I was like, oh my god, this tastes so good. And then realized, I was like, but it ain't quite the best. Do you know what I mean? It's like kind of, I guess when you find a new anime show or something, you go, this is really enjoyable. I like this first episode. It reminds me of, oh yeah, that was such a good show. That was better than this one. But this one's still good. It was kind of that. It was an 8 out of 10. But yeah, that was a long ass day, Getting drunk on rum and then coming in work hungover the next day ain't great. But I'm back in the swing of things now. And then of course we went down to London yesterday, which is why we couldn't record yesterday. And then I'm going back on Friday. I'm in and out. I'm up and down. I'm a globetrotter. What can I say? But in terms of more interesting things that aren't work related, I have watched 2 things I'm going to mention here. Because I started watching Noragami because I picked up the first 2 volumes to read on the plane, which I did. And I had to put them away because it was a night flight, and I was the only person with my little lamp on. And then I did feel super self-conscious that a lot of people were trying to sleep, and there's just some asshole trying to read some manga when he was there. And it's not a very fan-servicey manga, so it doesn't really have fan service, but there are a couple of occasions where it's showing, there's a gag on panty shots, or, someone, undressing. There's about maybe 4 pages in the first 2 volumes that have something like that on. And I swear to God, every single time I've landed on one of those pages, that is when one of the fucking air hostesses decides to come and go, would you like any refreshments? In full view.
Yeah.
It was like any other page they could have looked at. It was that one every time. It was like, I turn it over, look up, there she is, right there, judging me on my manga.
That's why you gotta pay attention.
Thank Christ it wasn't Monster Musume or whatever it was. You gotta pay attention. I've gotta go, okay, there's a panty shot gag coming, I can sense it.
You gotta be strategic.
Gotta skip over it. Gotta read this in the toilets, just in case.
I could really use some more ice in my beverage. Hold on, let me find the titty page.
It was like a little button. It's like she sensed it. She was like, okay, I've read that before. I know in 12 pages there's gonna be a little titty gag. I'm coming over, making my way downtown. But yeah, I've read and pretty much caught up to Noragami, which I really enjoyed. It is shonen, but it's a little bit different. It's a bit more, because it's got a way smaller cast than, the long-running ones. It's a bit different. I liked it. It was quite refreshing, even though the plot's confusing as fuck. I don't quite get a lot of it, but whatever. It was fun. And then I also watched The Silent Voice. Don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
No.
I know I'm way too late on this one. I'm like a year behind.
Have heard good things.
It was good. I think, because I was watching it. So for those who don't know, Silent Voice is a film about, a guy who, when he was a kid, he bullied a deaf girl in school. He's now grown up, and basically meets her again when they're older and they're in high school, and he's become a different person. He himself has experienced bullying and stuff, so what goes around comes around, and it's all about him redeeming himself and connecting with this deaf girl and making friends with her and everything, and, all the fallout from that. It was good. The one thing I'll say is, when we were watching it, it came to, the climax of the film, if you will. There's, quite a big part, and an emotionally heavy part in the film, about 30 minutes from the end. And that was when because I was watching it with my girlfriend, and then that's when she got a phone call. So like we had to pause it for like 45 minutes, and it just deflated the tension away. And I was like, wait, why are they there? Why are they in hospital? Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. So it was a bit weird because it broke it up into like 2 parts. But I would recommend it. It was a fun film. If you enjoyed like Your Name and stuff, you'd enjoy it. It's a bit of, like a romance, slice of life kind of thing. So check
I did enjoy Your Name.
You might enjoy this one. I suggest watching it because it was fun. There were some bits where you were just like, what? Because he's like, just say sorry. Because he does everything to a tone, but like he never really says sorry. Or anything. It's weird. But watch that and enjoyed that. Other than that, I have just been writing and doing some writing and shit. Stuff that'll never see the light of day. Probably, because it won't be finished. But anything that exercises the writing muscles is good in my book. But that's all I can remember off the top of my head. Let's move on, because we've got a lot to talk about. Shall we move on into the news, or shall we cover...
News.
The little bit of Kansas, the weekend that we didn't cover in the Kansas cast?
The news is that Anime Expo happened. That's way too much to cover in a single show.
I'm still ticked that the premiere of Gridman Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad was not, all right, you saw the first episode, and now the first episode is out, and here's the rest of the season coming out. It was, hey, here's the first episode. Rest of the show is next season.
But you already got this one finished.
Apparently the first episode of JoJo Vento Oreo is out in hazy cell phone format if anyone wants to watch it.
Nah.
I think I'll just wait until it actually shows up.
It'd be more frustrating to try and watch it that way. I'd hate to. Yeah, no. Okay, well, we can leave all the fallout for Anime Expo till next week if you want to.
Let the cream rise to the top.
I know San Diego Comic-Con is on right now, I think?
It is on right now. It's also not necessarily our wheelhouse, so I'm not going to worry about it too madly.
I will say, holy balls, the new Godzilla movie looks awesome.
It does.
The trailer out now.
In stark contrast to the previous Godzilla movie.
It's like, it builds up a little bit slowly, and for a while I'm watching, I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? And then it's just monsters, ramming monsters up your ass for like 3 minutes.
Hey, I watched that porn video last night.
Which means there's more monsters in it than all of the first one.
There's at least 4, and they're not Mutos, the dumbest monsters in Godzilla. Bigger even than Roland Emmerich in the Monsters of Godzilla. Oh, yeah. Bazing, there's a fresh take.
We have got, there's the trailers. Okay, well, we'll wait for San Diego Comic-Con to wrap up, and then we'll cover all the fallout of Anime Expo and San Diego Comic-Con next week, and then we can just do that can be the big main topic for next week, I reckon. Speaking of cons, then, you've all heard of San Diego Comic-Con. You've all heard of Anime Expo.
You guys haven't heard of the best convention ever made.
It's the best convention to ever take place at the Kansas City airport.
Hell yeah.
I would
I was so glad that it lived up to the anti-hype I'd been building for it.
Okay,
yeah.
So this convention took place on the Saturday in Kansas, Sausomecon 2018. Brian had kind of done everything in his power to dampen expectations, I guess, for the 5 days that we were there. So, we were building up to it. It's not like it was the focal point of the trip or anything, but it was something that obviously you were like, oh yeah, we're going to do that on the weekend.
Basically forgot about it until the morning of.
I was kind of excited for it because
I was looking forward to it because I wanted to buy figures. That was really it.
Considering my only experience of anime conventions has been LAGC, so I've been to 2 now. I can say I've been to 2 different conventions that are focused around anime, but. So, where to start.
So we walk in, and there's anime grandpa dressed as anime grandma.
Yeah, when we walk in though, when we were making it across the car park, saw a few cosplayers, a few decent, like, well put together cosplays. Like
there were some very good cosplays there. That's the one thing we cannot fault it for.
Yeah, like the level of cosplays. Like we saw a couple outside, and I was like, "This is pretty decent. These are pretty good cosplays. High level, quite accurate to the characters. Look really good."
But then we saw furries.
It's not worried about the furries. Those are everywhere.
Yeah, but I haven't seen furries at the local con. There weren't any furries here. That's the first time I've seen furries in real life, and I was just like,
you mean
Jesus
like
Christ.
a person in a full fursuit?
I have never seen
we're not
full fursuit.
We're not talking about the mascot at Wackies.
No,
I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm just saying you've been to an anime convention. You've probably seen dozens of furries. They're just not that proud about it.
I meant in a suit, not you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The full fursuit, I've never
Chuck
seen.
E. Cheese is at no danger of yiffing anyone.
Oh, let's hope not. Oh no, I'd love for that headline.
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
I'm gonna yiff the shit out of someone. Yeah, as Manimal alluded to, we walked in through the door, saw Grandpa/Grandma. I mean, he convinced me. I thought it was an old lady until he opened his mouth. Because I was like, oh, fair enough. He's reliving his Sailor Moon days. Stood in line for 20 minutes. There was a long queue. There was one person in front of us.
Yep.
It was Brian.
And then we paid $35 for the day.
35 smackers.
Sausomecon made $140 off us poor suckers.
Oh, Jesus Christ. When you put it in perspective like that, it's
$140 for us guys to walk into this wonderful convention. Sausomecon was a fucking con. $35. I would have rather given that to, I don't know.
My only hope was for the dealer's room, and the dealer's room here was pretty much as big as it was at the local con. But there wasn't as much to buy as I hoped there would be. Like, you know, I had eagle eyes on for anything Love Live related I was going to get. But all I got was Anime Girl Mussolini and Yoshiko Nemdroid and some Love Live bookmarks. I was a little let down by that. I wanted to get some like cheap Love Live figures and stuff like that.
So I think, well, to really put in perspective, if it was in a small space, it would have been fine. But the fact is, they rented out this gigantic ballroom, like full on sized, and there was like a stage and like 5 artist booths.
You could feel the overwhelming absence of.
Well, yeah, that was okay. So yeah, because you're in the dealer's room, it's all packed, and you're like, okay, and then you walk out. And it's a big area, and they've decided to put everything against the wall. So there's the stage where the Love Live cosplayers are dancing, and they're not feeling it in their soul. There's frickin' Assassin's Creed guy fighting with swords or whatever.
Oh yeah, there was the LARPing arena. Let's not forget
So,
about Assassin's Creed guy who's way too into
taking it too serious. He's practiced all year for this moment. So the way it's set out is you come through to the lobby, grab your passes and stuff, and then you went through a little narrow corridor that had a couple of rooms for panels in there. The couple that we walked past didn't look great. I think one of them was like, ask the character in role play. Like, do you know one of them where it's like, ask this character, the cast of this show, anything.
There were some
dressed
your
up
bog standard, poorly put together show panels run by fans.
Yeah, not like ours were in LAGC at all. We put loads of practice into ours and preparation.
Well, the difference is we have a mostly impromptu podcast.
That's true. That is true. Touche. Touche, honky. Touche.
No, and then there were just random other booths, and like there was like an AMV thing going on where they had like this projection of music videos playing, and it was like, wow, look at this.
Yeah, we went through, and the dealer room was first, so that's what when we were talking about it. You go through the dealer room, it's a smallish room, so you were like, you know what, it was pretty filled out. Stuff, again, they had some figures, they had some shit, there was a guy who was a connoisseur of his hentai dojins.
There was one dealer there who just had like an entire wall to himself.
I respected the guy who you bought the Persona thing from, the magazine, the art book thing, because I mean, you know, he had a healthy stash of dojins there, but I mean, he was passionate, he was engaging people, he was happy to be there, he knew his shit, so you know, fair play to that dude. I you know, got all the respect in the world for that guy. Extortionate prices, but you know, it's an anime convention, so you can't complain too much.
Not as good as Little Star Gifts. Shout out to Little Star Gifts in Winnipeg.
Shout out to Little Star Gifts. You get a little tip of the fedora over there.
I was gonna say, that guy is still, because he's at all the conventions around Kansas City. And I haven't talked to him as much, but the dude in the corner who was selling all the like actual DVDs and Blu-rays, he's a cool dude who is also at the non-anime conventions, and I know him a little bit. He's cool. Everyone else you can assume is sketchy and weird.
It's a safe assumption. No, they see, like I say, the dealer rooms, they seem nice. They seem cool. Like I say, there wasn't...
It was your standard selection of dealer fare, but in microcosm.
Yeah.
So it's a bit easier to see.
Yeah.
Like, you had that one, like, t-shirt dealer who was definitely not interested in being there somehow.
Yeah, couldn't they give a shit less.
I mean, I've never seen a just parent unconcerned for their child rolling around on the floor at a con before.
Yeah, that was a new one. A child just... They had, like, some kind of blanket, like a black... It was just like a giant robe or blanket or something that a kid was rolling about. They just bought, like, their toddler with them. You know, fair enough. I guess, you know, babysitters are expensive nowadays, but it's not a sight you always see. But then we went through the dealer room into the big open convention hall, and as we just said, it was empty. There was the stage to the left. They had, as I said, the Love Live girls. They were giving it the best. There was about 10 seats there. Sadly, there wasn't enough people at the con to give them like a good audience. And then to the right, we had the artist alley. And I don't want to shit on any artists, because I know art is ultimately subjective, but it was a kind of square layout, like a rectangular layout.
If you imagine sort of a figure eight without the two center bits connected.
Yeah. A figure eight on a calculator. There you go. Cause then it's
like a digital number 8, but there's like a gap in the middle of it.
And there was the stores there, and it seemed like the ones close to the door, like, I bought a print from one that was cool as fuck, like Persona 5 one. Their artwork was amazing. It was a guy and a girl. I've got it somewhere, but I don't know if I've got I want to give him a shout out if I can. Oh,
I thought myself, it is real cool. Looking at it, I wanted to get something, even though I haven't actually played Persona 5.
Vibratix
if you
art.
can nail the style of P5, you've got a pretty good thing going for you.
Yeah, because it's very P5, but like you can see they haven't just traced, like there's some slight differences, like facially with the characters, but it was like say the style was spot on, like they haven't just literally traced over the character art and just banged it together or gone in Photoshop. Like they were really good. Vibratix art. I'll give them a plug. We'll go on Twitter. We'll put it on there. Then there was the other ones, and they were all artists, and some you kind of had that kind of cal art style, that sort of very cartoony Steven Universe style for a couple of the booths.
It's not a hot take anymore, but yeah, it's kind of what it is.
Like the Steven, like I'm not. Again, art's subjective, so I suppose there's nothing wrong with me saying I'm not a fan of that kind of art. Overly simplified kind of thing.
Like, I personally enjoy the Steven Universe style. It's just a bit oversaturated.
Again, like I say, it's something subjective. A lot of it I wasn't feeling with the artwork. And then, there was the LARPing person. There was literally a guy who's just dressed as an Assassin's Creed assassin. I don't know which one, maybe Ezio or something. And he had two
was
batons.
Wearing blue and black, so I think it's sort of a make 'em up.
I kind of wanted to see because at one point there was like quite a large lady who was dressed as a Bavarian maid, like a German Bavarian maid, and she picked up a bat and was like circling. They were strafing each other. I kind of wanted to see burly, butch German lady take on Assassin's Creed cosplayer because he was like really serious. Or like I wanted to just see like one of the kids go in and just go, "I'm Deku from My Hero Academia," and he's like, "Get fucked," and just see what happened because like
You got one guy with the foam bat just holding off Deku, who's just trying to punch him.
Listen to what I said. Oh, we just needed the Sora cosplayer because they have that in Kingdom Hearts 2, don't they? The struggle thing, struggle with the foam bat and the balls and shit. Needed that. That's what it would have been as kryptonite. And they also had the ever popular chess club booth, and then the rest of like the left wall was just other cons.
There's like 3 or 4 tables of other cons advertising their own cons.
I love that. How we could say a good portion of this convention floor was dedicated to other cons advertising their cons. Nothing. They hadn't gone, like, what I would have loved if they'd have bought their own kind of panel or something to attract interest, because it was just sort of, hey, by the way, we do a panel. Here's our card. Here's our whatever, our flyers. We stayed for an hour in the convention, and then we ditched it. It was
we did.
Not worth $35, sadly.
You know what was worth it?
What was?
Pizza Ranch.
Pizza Ranch.
Now, we don't know that for sure. We didn't attend the 18-plus Digimon panels that were late at night.
Disappointingly enough.
Okay, the saving grace of Sausomecon was as interesting, to say the least, selection of adult panels that happened overnight, which we could have gone, everyone.
We could have.
I wanted to.
We could have done a lot of things.
I wanted to go.
We could have robbed a bank. We could have cut our own members off in front of a roaring crowd.
We could have, but I would have personally said that going to the 18-plus Digimon panel would have been far more feasible and not leave us dickless. Possibly. I mean, I don't know.
Possibly.
If somebody's in a Digimon cosplay,
for granted.
You could lose your dick in a convention. Let's be honest. We've seen these we haven't seen these orgies. We've heard these stories. First it's your wallet, then it's your penis. But
it's your dick.
It's a natural progression.
Yeah. Pizza Ranch, for those who don't know as well, was an
all-you-can-eat
buffet for fried chicken and pizza. It's 2 great foods, but in an all-you-can-eat, that's dangerous. And dessert pizzas, which were good as dicks. But what else did we do? I don't know. That's the convention. We wanted to talk about the convention. Have you guys got any more thoughts about it? Because I feel like I rambled about it a bit.
No, you said it all.
I sure wish I'd stuck around to be one of the 3 people on their Dragon Ball Fighters tournament.
Oh god, yeah, they had video games.
They had a decent video game room. I mean, it's probably fair to say. It was
Super
about
Smash
the size
Bros.
of any other video game room I've seen before.
Dragon Ball Z. They had what you would want to play. I felt bad. I feel like it would have been a better con if they had the numbers. Because, as I say, the people who attended, there was a lot of good cosplayers. The people who set up the booths and stuff, like the guys who run the games and that, they're there to have fun. They're surely not getting paid. They've had to haul all their shit there. And then not many people joining in. I do feel bad for them, but I can't hang out. And we've gone through this before when we were talking about LAGC. I can't spend a day at a convention. I can't spend a day around the people. And that's not a knock on people. It's just it's not my vibe. It's not my mood. It's not our crowd. So it is what it is. But next convention we'll go will be way better. All 4 of us. Whatever there is in Germany when we go see Lego.
Oh.
Berlin Con.
Yeah, we've reset Manimal right back to his I don't know about that phase.
Germany.
I can't wait for Anime Auschwitz 2019. Let's go, boys.
Okay, we didn't need to go there.
Boy.
Yeah, I'd rather go to Poland.
There's so many other parts to that town, but you only remember the one thing.
This is why I was saying, because it's an entirely different place.
Let's roll on then. Oh God, let's go into. Shall we close off the spring season? Let's shut the book on the spring season. Matt, why don't you take the floor with what you want?
Darling in the Franxx was disappointing.
We all watched
Pretty
it
much
together.
every other show I watched this week is just, hey, season 2 will be around. That was how it was with Golden Kamuy. It was how it was with Galactic. It was how it was with
Golden Kamuy did not have I know obviously it's a longer running
didn't
manga,
have an ending.
No, I was expecting something and then they'll go, oh, we'll have in a couple of years we'll get a season 2. But yeah, they're confident from the way they ended it that they must have.
I mean, okay, Megalobox was good when it ended. We'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess technically not spring, but summer came up, and the rest of Dies Irae came out, which was pretty good, actually. But I'll get into it once we're actually going summer stuff. Unless, are we talking about summer stuff now, or just wrapping up spring?
I didn't watch much beside Megalobox.
I don't care.
It was one of those seasons for him.
Even now, I'm just oh, Full Metal Panic, yeah. Okay, whatever. You know how it goes.
I do, but I'm curious to see you, burn through all of that to hear what you have to say.
I mean, if I ever will, who knows?
True.
I mean, I'm planning on it.
Yeah. I still haven't seen the first one. I remember watching episode 1 and just had to return the rest of it to the library. That was how I watched that show.
Yeah.
You've watched the one episode that relates to none of the other episodes.
That's what it felt like. Man, shout outs to the Leavenworth Library and its large selection of both very good and very bad anime, because there's 2 of each.
Shout out to the penitentiary.
Oh yeah, we did see that.
Shout out to Lex.
What? No. Frickin' rip. Anyway, I don't know.
Rip the hell out of Lex Luthor.
Rip Lex. Fucking rip him. Rip him real good. But yeah, I don't know, did you just mention Darling in the Franxx? I know you said it was disappointing.
It was disappointing. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
Episode.
It can't hurt us anymore.
We had the unique experience because we watched it all together, so we all shared in it together.
Yeah.
And
So
even though me and Matt have watched the entire series and Brian Manimal, you guys didn't, I think we all left equally confused.
It doesn't fucking matter. If you want to know what Darling in the Franxx is about, just watch the last episode.
There was a really big 02 ship, and then there was a guy, and then they were running into things, and then there was human beings recreating the Earth or something.
And also, no one ages at the same rate because fuck you.
Ages, and
you're fat and you're gonna get old real quick.
And then there's I don't know. I don't freaking know, man.
Because I missed, tell a lie, I missed the episode before it, so we tuned in. So here's your recap of Darling in the Franxx in the last episode. 02 becomes a gigantic spaceship fighting mech, but she's still human, and Hero's inside her. Okay. Not in a sexual way, but inside her, piloting, kind of.
She is a giant robot.
And then they just fight aliens and... Oh, I don't know. But it's great because in millions of years' time, their souls float back to Earth.
It was
they won't remember anything, and all their friends will be long dead.
It was so remote, aggressively uncool that it was impressive.
Oh, the
But
dialogue
see,
in that is
that
painful.
last bit is kind of what I wanted from the show, where the girlfriend of the main character is the giant robot he's piloting.
But it was so stupid looking. It didn't even look cool. It was just like the most
Looked a
ridiculous.
little cool.
It was a little cool, but
was just like a-
very poorly executed.
Yeah, oh my god, I was just like, holy shit.
Imagine the fight against the whole anti-spiral fleet, but you don't give a poop about nothing.
No, but can we talk about the good shows now?
Yeah, let's get on to
Like-
the summer season.
Summer season, we got a lot of good shows. We got to talk about Music Girls. It's about a German idol who is not really all that German, apparently.
Except maybe both of her parents are Japanese. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't actually know, but it's a great idol show where she goes to an airport and she meets an idol group and she knows all the songs all of a sudden, and it was not good. This is just
She can
just how
dance,
they-
but she can't sing.
I
this is just
remember enjoying watching it, but I think that was more because of the commentary
No,
that we all provided
that's
as
just it.
opposed to the. To
what
the
I
show.
realized when I got home is it would be fun as hell if we could watch every episode in that exact same setting, because it would be so fun to make, because it was really fun to make fun of the show, because you gotta find your own entertainment with a series like this, you know? It was just like, why do they, this is the idol genre. This is what the whole thing is now.
I don't know. I think sometimes your own entertainment can be just watching a better show.
Yeah.
I still prefer watching a bad show with friends, so we can just discuss why does the director never look at the people he's talking to.
Exactly.
Oh my god, he couldn't concentrate on anything.
The parents
The
were like,
parents
you know,
concern me. It was like, if your daughter's disappeared in an airport, she's a girl. She's a high school girl. She's probably like 15. If she's disappeared for a long period of time, the mother, like the father's worried, and the mother just goes, you know how she explores. You're in a foreign country. You've never been there before.
No, it's fine.
Go
She knows
find
the
your
language.
Daughter.
no, but apparently the mom has, I guess, but it was
The mum's
dumb.
From what I gathered, the dad was German, the mum's Japanese, and
But she
like
has a
famous pianist.
Japanese last name, so it's stupid.
But the
Nothing
whole
makes
twist.
sense.
Did you not enjoy the great twist where she was gorgeous and she was a great dancer, but she
couldn't
can't
sing.
very good.
What?
It was a great plot twist for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
You're
but-
crazy.
Yeah, Music Girls is great. We watched, there's the gambling guy who, serious stuff happens, I guess. But I don't
Is that,
remember what that
It's
Middle management
prequel.
blues.
middle,
Yeah.
and
Mr.
it's
Tanagawa.
the
It's
first
a,
half,
It's a show about a guy who died in another show.
the first half of the episode was like, why are we watching this? And then the Emperor guy was like laying on the, on like the backs of a bunch of other dudes, and we were like, this is cool.
It definitely has a turn at about the 15-minute mark.
And then there's just the whole scene where he's trying to remember everyone's names, and it's just freaking hilarious.
The narrator's just, oh my god!
Yeah,
How could he do this?
The
What
narrator
sold me-
just made it so good.
Yeah, I was going to say, what sold me on it was the visual of the mighty emperor who was literally using a bunch of guys on all fours as his like
To lay-
lounger.
To lay
And then
down.
The over enthusiastic like narration of it all was just great. Like,
Yeah. This is an amazing narrator. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch any more of this series, but it was a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I'm not keeping with that one, but it seemed funny. I just feel like there'd be more investment if you already watched the previous show.
It's 24 episodes.
I
Long
mean,
show, way more than I thought. I thought it was going to be 12, like easy, like you know.
I don't know. I guess if they think they can get the time out of it.
I think it was already like a spin-off manga, so like I'm sure they've got plenty of material. Like it's an old property anyway.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But
Pardon me.
then,
Excuse me.
then there was another one. Was it Planet With?
There is Planet With.
Yeah,
I am.
so
I'm still watching Planet with. I am really digging it.
Same.
So we were watching the series, and it was like there's this weird dream sequence, and it was like whatever. Then all of a sudden, a 2006 green-haired maid girl shows up, and it was like, okay, this is different. And then there's a big cat guy who eats the whole thing of lettuce and he has teeth.
Giant cartoon cat dude, and then he just has human teeth.
And he eats a thing of lettuce.
Just bites into it like an apple.
There was a lot of moments in this episode that were like, what? Okay, that's funny.
I was like, the rest of the episodes still have weird shit going on, but I think you get more prepared for it at that point.
This was definitely the episode where I probably did the most, what the? Like, what the?
Because, like, in the big monster that shows up in the sky is, like, this giant hand, finger thing.
It says peas.
It says peas, like the little green things you put in your mouth and chew up.
Yeah.
And then the
But
next
its
one, it's
body
like...
parts are all wrong.
It is. And the next one, it's like a giant pig, and this last one, it was a bunch of upside-down babies.
Yeah.
It's all very strange.
Yeah, it was amusing. I'm not gonna watch any more myself, but it was a fun first episode.
I'm sensing a theme here. That was fun. I'm not gonna watch
But
it.
except for Chio's School Road. This
Which
is an
is
unexpected series about a girl who walks to school. Except it has this freaking amazing humor where first you're like, okay, it's kind of crazy. And then all of a sudden there's a guy brushing his teeth, and it was good. And I watched
The conceit is it's a girl walking to school, and it's like 2 stories per episode. But it's taken with the seriousness of a JoJo fight.
Yeah. Well, there's the SWAT turn is what really was when I was like, when she did the SWAT turn, because it was like a move that I could relate to on such an emotional level, where I was like, this is a good show.
Yeah, the whole second half of the first episode, because I missed that episode when you guys were watching it, but I heard you laughing so much that I had to watch it when I got back home. And yeah, that whole second half of the first episode, story B, was literally the popular girl says hi to her, and then the awkwardness of having to walk with the popular kid, and then realizing when she runs into her also popular friends, like what? she did everything in her power to escape.
Yeah, I loved it. No, it was great. Episode 2 is really good as well. I'm definitely going to keep up with that series.
Yeah, I'm watching it as well. Very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we watched there.
Otherwise, I watched there. Yeah.
What else did you watch, Manimal?
Otherwise, I watched Asobi Yasobase, which is amazing. It's one of those new age punk rock slice of life shows where it looks like really boring, and then even the opening is just like incredibly generic, but then it's just freaking outrageous. It's a great freaking series.
What's it about? Are they
it's just about 3 schoolgirls do the Pastimers Club. One of them is just like a white girl who pretends to be a foreigner, but she's born in Japan. And
yeah.
Okay. Why not?
That's just the whole first episode is just her messing around, but she doesn't actually know English at all.
Is she what's she trying to be? Is she trying to be American, Canadian,
Well,
English?
American,
She's
yeah.
trying to be English.
Well, her name is Olivia, but
that's British. I'll take it.
She is white. She was born in Japan, raised presumably by English-speaking parents.
Raised by American parents who somehow she didn't learn English.
I don't know if that's how that works.
It made no sense whatsoever, but I don't care because this show's freaking hilarious and it was great. I loved it. There's a whole scene where they're just playing in a pool and then the teacher is like, "Is this piss?" Oh, it was great. And then episode 3 where they do
wait, back up. So the scene was the teacher went into a pool. It was piss,
they're in the club room. They're in the club room. They're in the club room in a pool, and it's leaking through the door. So the teacher's like, "I'm gonna come in," and it's like, "No, Olivia pissed herself." So the teacher's like, "Oh," but he doesn't believe them. So he takes a thing of it and licks it. And he's like, "Oh, it is just water," because he thinks of case closed, and then he has to be a detective.
Oh yeah, that sounds quite funny actually.
No,
That's a bit weird.
This show's freaking great because they're just ugly and gross characters. Like they're just like, oh, I love when shows do this where they have the cute girls, but they're just like these just ugly characters internally.
I was going to say, aesthetically, have I got a show for you then? I'll be talking about in a minute.
That's my favorite, the kind of thing. And episode 3, they were trying to like challenge another club, so they were like seeing how like long they could throw their shoes. So Olivia does it like on a swing, and the other girl does it on a bike, but like she breaks all her bones and has to be homeschooled. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a really good show. Then there's Harukana Receives, the beach volleyball series. And it's what you expect, you know. No surprises there.
That's good, dude.
It's one of those light-hearted series that also takes itself seriously. And yeah, it has all the cheesy elements, but it's just there. And you know, they take volleyball dead seriously as well, you know. They're in it to win it. But it's fun. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I'll at least watch some more of it because it's enjoyable enough.
Did you enjoy the first episode, but you're not going to continue?
I watched the first 2 episodes. I don't know. If I don't feel like watching, I'm not going to watch it. But definitely Asobi Asobase and Chio's Skull Road are the 2 series. Like finally something to watch again, you know. So and that's all for me.
Cool. Matt, what else? Did you get a chance to watch anything else aside from what we watched at NARS?
Yes, aside from, because I am watching, of course, so I watched the 2 we talked about at NARS, and I'm also watching, Chio's, Planet Wished. I'm watching another one. Why am I not remembering? I keep forgetting. Oh yeah, I'm watching, also watching Angelmois, Genko, the one, so you know how that, Tears of Tsushima, Memories of Tsushima, whatever that game is called, coming out? Yeah. About the Mongols invading the island called Tsushima, and you're this one, like, Japanese samurai who showed up and has to fight them all off?
Yeah.
That's the same thing. They're telling the exact same story.
Fair enough.
But, it's enjoyable. I've liked the first couple episodes so far. The style's a little bit different. It's a little bit, has this weird, like, wrinkled paper texture over everything.
Oh yeah, the vintage thing that they do when it's a period piece.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm really liking it so far. Everyone's kind of enjoyable to watch. The animation's really smooth and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I have no complaints whatsoever. It's that historical drama kind of thing you might expect. And the other one I'm watching, which has been a standout, at least from the circles I follow, is Cells at Work, which is potentially my favorite of this season.
Really?
It's anime Osmosis Jones, but like it's really cool because like they're always like feeding you facts about the human body, and like all the red blood cells are just like couriers taking shit places, and like all the white blood cells are like murderous maniacs, and it's a really bloody show. Like really bloody.
Well, the main characters are blood.
Yes, but like the white blood cell will like attack the virus or something, and it just explodes blood all over him.
I guess that's how they do it.
It's a straight up shonen anime that takes place.
But you also got little platelets.
The platelets are
the little platelets.
They're tiny and adorable.
Sadly, the lolicons also like the little platelets.
Yeah, well, lolicons are gonna like the lolicon stuff. But they're tiny little children who are just doing their best, and they have little hard hats on. Or just regular hats, I guess. They are adorable. And I like how, like, all the cells are, like, basically carbon copies of each other. Like, there's very little difference.
But there shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be. That's what makes it fun. And, like, in the 3rd episode, there's this, like, wimpy killer T-cell who's, like, tiny and he hasn't been, like, trained yet or whatever, and he turns into he basically turns into All Might. Except instead of 2 weird spikes, he has one giant, like, curl coming off his face. And he just beats the shit out of a bunch of dudes. Because, like, normally he starts off, he looks like he's 13 or whatever, and then next time he shows up, he literally just explodes to the wall. He's like, I am here. I am sorry for my disgraceful behavior.
That sounds good. I might have to check it out because I've been tempted. And I'm probably dropping a couple of things that I'm watching. So maybe I'll catch up on that one.
I also really like how all the parts of the body has like different architectural styles. It's not like Osmosis Jones where everything's like organic looking. It just looks like, people and stuff inside of a weird city. So it's really cool like that. But it does bring up a philosophical thing, because the cells bleed. Does that mean they have their own,
their own little
drama
world inside them?
Little city going on inside of them? It's very
No, that would be ridiculous. Stop thinking about it.
We can't have cells at work, cells at work.
Apparently humans are full of tiny humans being cells. So,
that doesn't sound right. I've seen Osmosis Jones and a couple of Magic School Buses.
My anatomy knowledge is on par.
Yeah, no, cells at work is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I mean it's gotten a lot of positive reception, which I didn't think it looked bad. I just didn't think it looked like you just sort of like meh.
I mean, it does kind of look generic, but it's executed very well, and
that's good.
It has the funny little details, all the cells are like the color that they should be. Like, none of them have names. It's like the main characters are like red blood cell 2987 and white blood cell 4876 or whatever.
That's funny. Leaves the door open for so many fanfics.
Yeah.
That's
all I've got.
Fair enough. Now, anything else that you managed to catch?
No. I'm realizing now that most of my free time that I spent on a television was grinding side stories in Yakuza 0, which
racking up them trophies.
is still really fun.
I've seen it. It keeps popping up on my PlayStation.
You
go.
I want to have the stronger fighting styles that are good for the end game stuff, but you only get those by doing either the real estate or cabaret management, depending on the character. So I own all of the land I can in Tokyo, and right now I'm trying to club all of the other girls' clubs with Majima.
Am I mistaken in thinking that Yakuza was like an action game?
No, it is.
Yakuza Business Simulator.
It's got a lot to it. It's a game
That's not a
where
derogatory, by the way. I
silly
love
things
sort of
are
thing.
taken very seriously. There has been many host club management stuff in past games. I think either 4 or 5 replaced the girls with you now own a cat cafe, so you have to track down particularly fun cats throughout the city.
Oh, that's adorable.
I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, I prefer games. And especially from one of the side stories, the talkative grandma is one of my highest earning women because she has a very high talk gauge. Men come from all around the land for my talkative grandma.
I mean, you'd think grandma cafes would be very popular. You go there, a grandma takes care of you. She gives you some tea and cookies or whatever. She asks you about how you're doing.
Those are called retirement
how handsome
homes.
you've grown since the last time she saw you.
Yeah, and the blowjob would no chance of biting either. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh man, just the soft gums.
Who doesn't love a granny gum job?
So yeah, that is exactly the best way to describe Yakuza.
I'm glad this show existed just for the recorded line of talkative grandma is one of my highest earners. Oh, with Naz Harem. Well, I say harem. It's not an anime harem. It's more just a gaggle of prostitutes that follow.
No. They're not prostitutes. It's a hostess club.
Oh, the hosts. Yeah, they
guys come in and they just chat with girls because Japan is a very jilted place.
God, they're going to be screwed when Tinder happens over there.
Oh,
Probably has a
Shinzo
version
Abe
of
is
that.
doing his best to make sure Tinder happens.
That should have been the ending to Darling in the Franxx. It's like, oh, are we compatible? Well, I swiped right on my thing. That means we're a match. We can
Please
have
reproduce.
babies.
I feel like the real moral Darling in the Franxx was, if you're compatible, you're probably going to die in an alien war.
True love never survives.
That or one of you will die and the other one won't, or you'll break up and so they can marry their, like, impregnate this other girl on the first night they're ever together.
Remember,
maybe you're just gonna get
restarting
too
society
serious.
is super easy.
Maybe you'll just get too serious about it and you'll go become an invalid because you used your guns too much.
Yeah. Luckily, no. Goro bagged his girl. He got Ichigo, and that's all that matters.
I'm just Goro's the only character that matters.
Goro's happy, and that's what I'm happy about with that show. But I guess
That
for me then
and
there was
02 cosplayers.
Yeah. Yes, it's not a bad cosplay. I'm not gonna lie. Pardon me. Can't wait for the giant version, the machine giant one.
Oh, that would be fun.
I don't know how it would work. Someone would make it work. Like, there are cosplayers out there who can do it, so.
There's a
Yeah.
cosplayer for every design.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, there's one who, I saw a cosplayer at San Diego Comic-Con who was, it was a girl who was cosplaying Red Shoes, which for those who don't know is a Japanese wrestling referee who's famous. He's just known as Red Shoes because a lot of American fans, obviously, you kind of just forget the name, but he always wears red trainers, so he's called Red Shoes. And she just had a perfect cosplay of him. It was great. I
Is
don't
that-
know why.
One of the New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
Okay. Man, I want to get into that, but it's after Lucha Underground in terms of wrestling I want to take in.
Red Shoes Uno. It is awesome wrestling. Like, in terms of wrestling, it is really, really good. Kind of hard to follow stories. It's a lot easier now because of the Bullet Club and everything. They have a lot of, like, a gaijin influence. So there's a lot more, like, Western wrestlers who will do promos in English. They have a lot of English announcers now. But it's good just to watch each other kill each
Kenny
other.
Omega currently the champ?
Yes, Kenny Omega is. I fucking love Kenny Omega. He had his match against Tetsuya Naito. And Chris Jericho shows up randomly at times. He just does what he wants. But, yeah, because even the style of wrestling's different in New Japan. Because, like, just the sort of psychology to it. Where they're just like, they'll hit something, like you'll get to the final stretches, like it's a real slow burner, and then like they get to the final stretches and just kill each other for 10 minutes until you go, oh, this is slightly uncomfortable. But anyway, enough about wrestling, no one cares. None of you listeners care, that's for certain. But I'll tell you something that you will care about. I continue watching My Hero Academia. Again, we're on a 2-week break now because Funimation's caught up. So they're doing a little 2-week delay to get into the Hero Provisional License Exam arc, which was, I remember, being one of my favourite. I really enjoyed that arc. Because I think that's one of the key strengths of My Hero Academia. We've had the big epic fight with All Might and All for One. We've had that gigantic fight where there's, city-wide destruction and buildings just being evaporated. But I really like it when it's sort of, it's the kids learning to be heroes. They're juniors. They're in the school environment. They're doing the exams. They're working together. They're working out how to develop the powers and become proper heroes. I like that they can sort of revert back to that. Even though some people will feel like it's sort of not quite, they'll be like, I can't really get as hyped up for this because it's a lot smaller scale. The stakes of it, do you know what I mean? It's just, oh no, I won't get my provisional license.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun arc. I think I like it that it can do that and sort of scale back and forth.
I just love Gang Orca.
The killer whale mafia guy, but he's actually a sweetheart. I want to see. I forgot his name, but he's the wind dude. He was like the rival of Todoroki. The one who's like super intense, and he's so intense that when he bows, he like puts his head through the floor.
Yes.
I love that guy.
There's him and just the scene with the professional victims critiquing everyone as they're rescued from the rubble. Bakugo not making any good progress.
I do love that. Yeah, the victims who mock them. Great. There's just the old man. You could have done this, Sonny.
Are you not offering me first aid? What a good shonen.
I like that bit. I look like that's such a little. Those little details make it for me. It really makes it stand above just being like a generic shonen like show. It's sort of. I think it looks into like they look into the world. Horikoshi, I think he looks into like his story and the sort of world of the heroes and what the school would entail. And he actually he fleshes it out a little bit more than you might necessarily see. Especially with most shonens, is their training as you just go out and do whatever you're doing. Like ninjas, Naruto, just go on missions, I guess. Don't need to know how you train to be a fighter. That's not interesting. Like, goes into all aspects of it.
I really like, because there was an interview with Horikoshi a while ago saying, hey, how much of, like, your real life experiences go into this? And he just says, hey, remember that scene where Deku's mom pretends to be in trouble so he can burst in through the door and say, I'm here to rescue you? Yeah. I did that with my mom all the time, and I was crying my eyes out when I drew that.
Oh, he's a little sweetheart. He seemed really well received when he went to when he went to Comic-Con. Did you see the nice thing someone did? I find it quite funny. So some dude went over to him. They've purchased a galaxy. Do you know when you can name a galaxy? And they've called it All Might. And
yeah.
So there's a and then they gave him the deeds to it. So somewhere there's just a galaxy called All Might. The All Might Galaxy.
That's a good galaxy.
Hopefully, I mean, let's hope no aliens come from there.
I was gonna say, this sounds like a recipe for like 500 years for aliens to show up invading us, and it's on the newscasters, the All Might Galaxy.
The All Mighters are coming. Yeah, fuck, we'd be shitting ourselves if the All Mights come, but, you know.
And everyone in the future is gonna be like, who the fuck named the galaxy the All Might Galaxy?
Well, you see, back in the day, there was a manga out, comic book that we were reading, but yeah, it still continues to be good. I enjoy My Hero Academia, as it's no secret by now. The other shonen that's just come out, season 3, episode 1 of Attack on Titan. Had a watch of that, and that opening, I hate that opening. It's not a terrible. Okay, I'll take that back. The song isn't terrible. It's just Attack on Titan with season 1 really set the mood with its openings with Linked Horizon.
It's just going to be downhill from here, basically, is what you're saying.
The mood, the tone. I kind of get it because there is a huge tonal shift.
Is there? I haven't had it going on. I have not had a chance to watch this new episode yet.
I won't go into. Well, there's not really spoilers because it's all just kind of, you know, sort of dealing with the aftermath of season 2 and then kind of starting to, you know, lay down the building blocks for this next arc. So there's not much that goes on. It's kind of one of them respite episodes. It's like, welcome back. Do you remember? This is where all the characters are. Here's the state of things, and here's what we're dealing with now. Gorgeous show again, though. I think it's because I haven't watched Attack on Titan since last year, and then you think, fuck me. They have a big budget. Good lord, they have a good budget there. Which studio? Looks good still. But I'm excited. Episode 2, it ended strong, so episode 2 should have a fun beginning at the very least, hopefully. Yeah, Attack on Titan season 3 is still good. I also watched Angels of Death. That's the one where the girl who's 13 years old wakes up at the bottom of some weird building underground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mousing over that one, not deciding if I actually wanted to watch it or not.
After 3 episodes, I'm probably going to drop it. In all honesty, I was kind of tempted to give episode 4 a go, but I probably will just leave it. I think the problem for me with it is, so she wakes up, she has no memory of how she's got there, she knows that she's been in some kind of accident, and she's been speaking to a doctor, that's all she remembers. Then she realizes that, like, she's underground, and she doesn't know how to get out. She goes to the elevator, she gets up, and then there's an announcement over the PA saying that she's been selected as a sacrifice. She's on level 5. She's chased by a maniac with a scythe. She manages to escape away from him and gets up to the other floor. The other floor is her doctor, the person who's been her counselor. Turns out also he's a psychopath, and he wants to take her eyeball and kill her. So he's like really going at her, and he seems to know a lot about her and her past.
Now, I just can't help but feel that it might be easier to take her eyeballs after you kill her.
He keeps just talking about how her eyes don't look the same, blah, 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 blah. And then he says a very off-the-cuff line. He just says it like it's not really anything. He just goes, "Oh, don't you remember? You shouldn't be alive anyway." And then she, like, has this big traumatic, you know what I mean? Like, the change in her character. And she's like, "Oh, that's right. She remembers everything." We don't see it as an audience. We don't see what she remembers. She just says, "Oh, yeah, that's right. I should be dead. I shouldn't be alive." And then, like, all of the fear, all of the character, all of the worry, stress, tension leaves the scene. She's just like, yeah. Doesn't flinch when he goes to try and kill her. Turns out Maniac Scythe guy has abandoned his floor, because each of these killers has a floor. So he's abandoned his floor, which is against the rules of whatever, you know, we still don't know. But he's abandoned his place and kills the doctor. He then says he's going to kill the girl. But it's no fun because she's not scared of death anymore. She asks him to kill her. She goes, "No, please kill me. Kill me now." And then he says, "Fuck that. I want to get out of here now, so you need to help me to get out. So we need to go." And that's the story. They want to escape. He's a psychopath murderer, and she wants him to kill her when they get out. The problem with the story is it's still set in like a survival death game, but the problem, the girl doesn't fear death. There's no tension when she's willingly throwing herself in, like, the situations where it's like, oh, she's got to walk off into this dark corridor, and there's like a child giggling as the lights flicker on and off. But you're not worried about her, because she's not worried in this, like, in the whole episode. She doesn't give a fuck, because she just wants to die. So she has no fear. So you don't. You're just like, oh, well, nothing's gonna happen. It'll be cool. It's fine.
See, now I just want a dark comedy where it's a death game, but the main character is like a lemming.
He just keeps trying to die. That'd be cool, because you could have another character who's desperately trying to stop it. Like, their fingers, they have to stop it. Because, yeah, the scythe guy's not really that interesting. He laughs like a knobhead. It's a really annoying laugh that he has, but it kind of fits because he's a psycho, but, you know, whatever. It's got really weird dialogue because I think it's based from a game and it's painfully obvious. Like, she says lines such as, the camera will focus on something, and she'll go, "That could be useful later," as if it was like Resident Evil. Like, do you know when you got the little narration notes? And it has little lines like that, and you're like, oh, this was a game, okay. Yeah, not too inclined to pick it back up. It was okay, like, animation wise it wasn't bad, and the voice acting and everything was alright, but I just was watching going, well, what am I supposed to, I don't care. Because either way, if she fails, she's going to be dead anyway, which is what she wants. So there's no stakes involved in the story. I mean, maybe it'll change, like, in a few episodes down, because obviously they've got to get 12 episodes out of the fucking thing, so, you know, maybe her past will be the story, I don't know. Other than that, I tried to watch Island, but it just wouldn't load on Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll was being shit, so gave up quickly on that one, probably won't go back. And I didn't make it through the full episode of Backstreet Girls. Because if you guys remember, Backstreet Girls is the one where the 3 Yakuza are forced to undergo a sex change and become idols.
Right.
Which is a great premise.
Yeah.
It's a great premise. Unfortunately, the execution is not great. I think that the problem stems from the show being made on a budget that is less than what Manimal tipped in Kansas. It's the amount of still frames in this fucking show, like, every time that they're idols on the dance floor. Like, I'm not asking for a complex dance routine, that's not what the show's about, it's not the focus, but it's just still frames. If it's not someone's, like, lips moving, it's just still frames. Like, there's barely any kind of animation in it. It's so cheap looking. And the voice acting, everyone's shouting constantly. If that's their character, that's fine, but everyone's doing it. Everyone's just like, whoa, 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 whoa.
No, this isn't but a Ninja Warrior thing, whatever that show is called. Right?
No.
It's not part of the
It's not supposed
gimmick.
to be like that. No.
Ninja Slayer, that was one.
It's just shortcuts in animation that are because there are obviously like them walking, or, you know, someone does a kick and it's like just a smash cut to the kick, and then it's, you know, there's some things of them there, and it was amusing. Like, say you have to do with like on stage, and then they went to the backstage and they're literally sitting there like necking bottles of Jack Daniels, drowning in their own sorrows, but it was just boring after that.
That's a bummer.
Got some live dog action, I think, in the background.
I have no idea.
That is my wife talking to the dog, so that's what that sounded.
It was okay. Mystery solved. It was dog action. You're right. It's a shame because Backstreet Girls sounded really funny. So I might pick up the manga and just see, because it might read a little better, because it was just grating on me, the animation and the sound. It just wasn't really going anywhere. And there wasn't as many jokes. I thought there'd be a lot of jokes, but there really wasn't. It's just kind of, you're a girl now. You're not really, no, are you? Lol.
It's hilarious because you're a girl now.
You're actually Yakuza, because there's so much you could do with that idea. You know, idol girls looking all sweet and innocent, you know, pervy fans, but they're actually Yakuzas. Could fuck them up in the alleyway. Be great, but...
Look, I would watch White Girls if it was the cast of the Yakuza games.
Exactly,
but,
something like that. And it just didn't go anywhere, because they were just acting they weren't acting like Yakuzas, they were acting really like depressed and mopey and wimpy and cowardly, like, you know, cowering at the boss and all that kind of thing. They weren't like acting tough, which is the point of them being the Yakuza. That's the whole point. They've got this girly idol exterior, or, you know, but deep down they're obviously like, you know, fucking hard as nails men. But they didn't really show that in this show, other than the couple of visual gags where they were smoking and drinking.
I mean, I feel like you should just read that manga that's the Yakuza guy turned house husband. That feels like the closest to the ideal.
Hina Matsuri did it better with the Yakuza guy. All I'm saying.
That is a great show.
I had some good shit in. But yeah, that is everything I can remember watching. I'm going to keep up with Chio School Road. Going to catch up on Planet Wit. Probably drop Angels of Death. I might check out Cells at Work. Who knows? We'll find out. But that's everything from me for the summer season. Everything's come out now because we're like a month late as well, aren't we? And we're sorry, guys, for being a month late. We will do...
It's fine.
We're not sorry. We keep saying sorry. No, we're not. I enjoyed my time off.
That's because you're British. It's just every other word is sorry.
Pardon me. It is. I have to.
See? Look at this.
Even then, I pardon myself. Sorry. I'm really sorry. No, guys. But I think that has got us down to the end of the show, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's it.
I think that's a successful one. We've shaken off the rust. We've eased ourselves back in. We had a lot to cover, so it's been a bit of an unusual one, but I'm glad. I'm really happy that we're getting back to doing regular shows again. Feels good. Now I've just got to edit it on time, which I promise I will. Possibly. Who knows? But before we do that, is there any parting words from you guys?
My only parting words is please edit it on time. We're already a month behind.
We'll see. It's currently the day it will come out. It's 2:15 in the morning on a Wednesday, so yeah, it should be out in, I don't know, 15 hours. I need sleep.
There's no more
that
Barry
minutes.
Goldman.
There's no more Goldman?
No more. It's now Cancela full on Barry Goldman. No more.
You know,
So
you
now
said
it's
this like a month.
Goldmansky.
Yeah,
but
like 2 months ago.
I
Same
got
thing.
Final resolution, and I goddamn mean it this time.
Oh,
Good, because I'm sick of trying to figure out what your new SoundCloud page is.
Well, I have a lot of SoundCloud pages, but now
I know.
KANTTILA.bandcamp.com.
Double T, 1L.
Can we just link it? It'll make this easier.
Yeah, we can
What?
bang a link in. We'll put a link
Cancela.
in.
It's full on.
Okay, he's decided to keep in touch with Finnish roots.
Although, for the sake of explaining, my SoundCloud accounts from oldest to newest are Deep Space Noise, Pop Tart Hero, Barry Goldman 5090, Barry Goldman Official, and now Cancela.
Jesus
But
Christ.
there's also Goldmansky, which is just like a random one.
I was going to say, I've definitely seen the Goldmansky one.
Barry Goldmansky is like odds and ends. It's not like full on.
That ain't part of the canon.
No, it's
Ain't
just
part of the
it's just
Cancela
random.
canon.
There's random stuff on there.
That's his, what are they called? Sub-accounts or shadow accounts? You know, when you
Yeah,
snoop
there's
on
also
people?
another SoundCloud where I posted like 2 re-recordings of Popcorn and Goof Troops. Ignore that one.
How about instead of continuing to list the other 50 SoundClouds he has, how about, Manimal, you add to the canon of the Chuny Chronicles?
The Chuny Chronicles Part 1 is on my YouTube channel, Swomi Salami, which will probably soon change names to Cancela as well.
Is it?
Yeah, I
is it?
uploaded it. I uploaded
How
it.
long is it? Out
It's
of
20 minutes
curiosity?
long.
Oh, that's not
I
too bad.
talked nonstop for 20 minutes.
Which means
Oh, okay.
you need to send us a copy of that video so we can upload it to ours.
It's
can
yeah,
find
I
it.
guess I
We
could
can
do
link
that.
it.
It's on my YouTube channel. So it's there.
Yeah, we can sort it. Oh god, yeah. Well, there you go.
So-
Chuny Chronicles.
Chuny Chronicles, as you guys know, Part 1 is over. We're now on to Part 2 of the Chuny Chronicles. Part 2 of 2. I guess we'll begin, because that's all I gotta say for this episode. Tune in for another exciting episode. At the end of this episode, there will be The Tragedy of Mr. Steak, a song which was coined by the man, the vicious Vacant. It all came from him.
I can't really take credit for the song. I
Yeah.
made a stupid.
Yeah, you looked at us at a grill, you're like, Mr. Steak, when you make a mistake, I have to barbecue your whole family. And I was like, God damn it, you.
I was a tired boy. But yeah, that's us. That's episode 142 in the books. Thank you for listening, guys, and thank you for bearing with us. We'll see you next week with more shit.
Okay, Part 2. Days had passed since the forest trip. The city still echoed quietly, but the night dripped on like the cave in the mist. A footprint was seen from the lake, watery and fading fast, much like the good times that never last in the spinning world that goes out of control. The mess of blue hair along the dirt and debris, like a litter in a box full of life's delight and disaster. The Chuny emerges from the cave. Her hair is a mess and covers her whole nude body. The Chuny had wondered what life was to be, and in the forest, her armpits unlocked a greater secret. Time would pass once more. People were living, and no one looked for the Chuny. No milk, no pitchers. it was a fruitless search. The Chuny knows this and continues on. Damn it. That's all I have. Yeah, I gotta get back in the groove. I gotta get back in the groove on that.
Mr. Steak for when you make a mistake.
Mr. Steak for when you make a mistake and have to barbecue your family. Sent him out for napkin rings. Who even knows those kind of things? He bought the wrong ones, but his wife said it was fine. But Mr. Steak can make mistakes, so he barbecued his wife. The neighbors came for the barbecue, so he had to take their lives. In the kerfuffle knocked over the grill. Now the police fire and news spill. All the exposure, just more for the dime. Mr. Steak must cover up his mistakes. Now that word of mouth is flying. From town to county, city to valley, everyone is trying. The number of victims is starting to gain. Does he need charcoal or propane? He's adding some spices and a hint of lime. Mr. Steak, why did you have to kill your family? Mr. Steak, you didn't have to, but you did. Steak has barbecued all America. Like a dad, he sighs. Planning out his world tour. And Ontario, it's time. Mr. Steak had to kill, but his barbecue could no longer grill. So he sets his sights out on the sun. Now his job is done. Mr. Steak, but when you make a mistake and have to murder our planets. Mr. Steak, but when you make a mistake and have to murder our planets. Learn from his lesson.